This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Psst, healthcare pros, word's out, and it's too good to keep quiet. Look, LinkedIn is revolutionizing job hunting, making it possible to search by specialty, shift preference, and salary. Endless scrolling is out. Whether it's a mental health therapist or dental hygienist, finding the perfect role is faster and easier than ever. Head to linkedin.com/healthcare and start your search today.
Welcome to our podcast, It's About Payroll. We're your hosts, Brian Escobar and Walter William Duncan III. Whether you're new to the payroll game or a seasoned veteran, we have something for you. All right. Welcome back, folks. We're here, season 3, episode 5. This is the third part of our deduction series within a series. And Walt, can you walk us back through the 4 parts are? I know I'm always like, what was the first one?
It was involuntary, voluntary.
Okay. Involuntary versus voluntary deduction. That was part 1 of the deduction series. Then it was pre-tax and pre-tax deductions rather. And now we're doing taxes.
Yes.
And the last one is post-tax deductions. Right?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Perfect. All right.
Yep.
So that's what we got going on for you folks. And before we get too deep in it, man, how you doing, Walt? How's your Sunday morning going?
It was going good, man. Tua's coming back. So I'm a little
nice.
anxious for him. And
he starts today?
Yeah, against the Steelers.
Wow.
So we're gonna
that's
see,
a tough
bro.
one. Yep.
Yeah.
So
how about you, man?
Team. I'm doing great, man. Had some family over this weekend, so it was awesome. Yeah, man. I'm feeling good. Feeling really good. Loving where we're going with everything and having a good Sunday so far.
That's good, man.
Yeah, man. I found some funny stuff too for this. Did you look at the link rather?
Yeah, I did. I did check out a few of them. I didn't get through the whole list, but I did find it funny. Some of those things.
I'm not even gonna go through the whole list either. So we're talking about taxes today. We're talking about your pay stub and the taxes on your pay stub. What you need to know. What are the takeaways for consumers, meaning us, people who get paychecks? What is it that we should know about our check? And we're covering taxes today, but in our research and stuff, we always try to find some funny stuff. And I found some. It's called 21 Fascinating Facts About Taxes to read while you put off doing your taxes. So it's just a funny thing from BuzzFeed or whatever. Let me see. What was okay? This was interesting. If you turn 100 in New Mexico, you can stop paying income tax.
Yep.
Okay, there's to being 100.
Yep. Yeah, the one I saw was the one I think a lot of us in payroll would have probably think about. Number 4, if you get your coffee to go in Colorado, expect to pay a tax for a lid.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yes. That was funny. The New York one was funny, of course, because I'm a New Yorker. And it was New York charges a tax for altering bagels, meaning if they slice your bagel or if they put toppings on your bagel, they charge a tax for that.
Wow.
So that was pretty interesting or funny. Oh, wait, Texas. It's good it's just interesting, right? Yeah. Texas has a poll tax on strip clubs. That money actually helps sexual assault prevention, intervention, and research.
Oh, okay. So it's for a good cause. Okay.
So it's for a good cause. Yeah, which they say. And that's the thing about taxes. Like, you hope they're going to the right place. Oh, number 8 is a really interesting one. So, the headline scares you. It says, 7 million children disappeared after a new tax law in 1985. Now, basically, before 1985, what they're saying is we were able to claim our children without having to put their social security number on the document.
Yep.
Of course, what do? What happens when you leave a loophole like that? People take advantage. And folks were putting in to the tune of a 7 million. I didn't realize it was that much. Folks were just putting fake kids on. Fake family members. Yeah, it didn't require the social, so you were able to put whatever you wanted, really. But then they changed the law, and now they need social security numbers. But think about it though, because this is how hard scammers work, and it all relates, right? After that, people would buy social security numbers or they would buy them or take, like, steal if they knew whatever. I'm sure they stole them in some respect, but they still found a way to hustle the system by getting fake social security numbers. You know what I mean? So it's very interesting how they still do that, even though the law changed that prevented them from putting. But I think that was it. All the other stuff is just interesting.
Humorous stuff.
Humorous, yeah.
Well, I think we got to talk about number 10. So just to let people know, look at number 10. And just to let people know, like, even the people at the IRS have trouble doing their taxes. So they have to get somebody to do their taxes for them.
Yeah. Another one in this is it says that the tax code is longer than War and Peace and what was the other book?
War and Peace combined. Shakespeare's work.
All of Shakespeare's works and War and Peace combined. Our tax code is longer than both of them combined. So, of course. Yeah. So let's move into that, right? So now let's move into what is tax? What is income tax? And an income tax, and I like this definition because the word imposed is really good. An income tax is a tax imposed, forced upon individuals or entities in respect of their income or profits earned by them. So income tax is generally computed as a product of a tax rate on a particular tax table, and the rate, if you ever hear folks say, "Oh, I just moved into a new income bracket or a different income bracket," that means you make more money and now your tax rate just went up.
Yep.
So that's how it is. And this is stuff folks says, if you get a pay stub, you absolutely need to go and educate yourself about tax brackets and those tax tables and what income bracket you're in. For instance, I think the top one, if you make $1 million a year, it's like 37% tax just for federal. So about it. And this is why the rich need tax shelters, because if you make $1 million a year, it's almost 40% just to the federal government. It's almost half your.
That's $400,000.
$400,000 just to the federal government, and you have not paid state yet. That doesn't count Social Security, right? FICA or state or local if you're in a local. So think about it. You make $1 million a year, you could potentially have to give up in taxes half or a little bit more than half, depending on the rates that you're. So of course you want tax brackets. And again, to circle back to our last episode, this is why pre-tax deductions are very helpful. Now, I don't know if you could get enough pre-tax to help $1 million, but gosh, it'll help. And then another one that is applicable to this episode is the Social Security wage base. Okay. And this through her blog, through Valor Payroll's blog, about the update for 2023. It went from 140 something to 160 something.
Yep, 162 something, I think.
It was like a $13,000 jump. It's a big jump. So now what that says to me is the government's making up for the past few years of pandemic and all this money that they've been giving out. And what I'm talking about, folks, is on your check, in your taxes section, you're going to have federal, you're going to have state, you're going to have Social Security, and possibly local. Depending on where you live, state and local is relative. But you're definitely going to have federal, and you're definitely going to have FICA. FICA refers to both Social Security and Medicare, both of them. It refers to, that word FICA is an act, but it refers to both of them, okay? Social Security says, hey, we will stop taking Social Security once you've hit a certain amount of money in earnings, gross earnings. So that's what the Social Security wage base refers to. So for 2023, it's going to be 162, whatever Walt said. Okay. So that means you have to make gross $162,000.
Hi, we're Meg and Amy from The Meg and Amy Show.
We're not only tech execs and big picture thinkers, we're also best friends.
We're curious learners. And on this podcast, we're challenging the status quo and activating the future.
And we're going to give advice about work and leadership, right, Meg?
You know, we can't help ourselves. But this podcast is about exploring possibility, not being right.
That sounds refreshing.
For more, tune in to The Meg and Amy Show.
before your Social Security stops coming out, before they give you a holiday of it. And usually in the summer is when the high earners will start calling payroll, and they'll be like, hey, my check just went up.
So the wage base is going from $147 to $160,200.
Yeah, man, it's a big jump. So again, it means that you have to hit that amount in gross. If you're not making that annual salary, that means you're never going to get the Social Security holiday. So if you make $100,000 a year, you're going to pay Social Security on 100% of your money, right? To the tune of $6,200. You know what I mean? Now, Medicare, what they've done the reverse. This is a sidebar, but it all ties in. This is taxes, right? Medicare does the opposite. I don't know if it's penalizing it's not penalizing the high earners. It's a balance, some type of offset that they need. They're saying, okay, if you make this much money, guess what? The little Medicare that you've been putting in is not going to be enough for you when you are tapping into the system. So you need to contribute a little bit more. So high earners, after a certain amount, it triggers an additional Medicare amount. I believe it is 0.9 or 0.09, something like that. I believe it's called the Medicare surtax, if you got a chance to look it up while we talk.
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now.
And so they do the opposite for that, right? So Social Security, they say, okay, if you hit this amount, we'll stop collecting. But Medicare says, shoot, if you make up to this amount, we are going to impose an additional amount on top of that. So it's called the Medicare surtax. So as a earner, as someone who makes money and we have paychecks, these are the things that are happening in your taxes, right? Your federal tax, you do not ever get a holiday from. That is an imposed tax. Now, what you need to do with a CPA and get some recommendations on how to file your taxes. It used to be like very easy. Married 1, married 3, single 5, whatever it is, right? People would play with that a lot to control how much they get. At the end of the day, when you go file your taxes, you're reconciling for the year. So it means you tell the government your situation. They say, okay, based on all these details you've given me, you owe us this money minus whatever you've paid all year long. Now, if you've overpaid, you get a refund in taxes. And that is what we know today is, go file your taxes, go get your refund. That's your money, folks. Again, I believe Suze Orman was always of the thought, hey, get your money every time you get paid. Why would you let the government sit with your money all year long, let them make money on your money when you can make money on your money?
Yeah, you just got to listen to for whatever your situation is, for your income, listen to your tax advisor. Get yourself a tax advisor. And your payroll team, your payroll person, even your coworkers, unless they're tax experts or whatever.
If they do it for a living.
Yeah, you should not get tax advice from people because everybody's situation is different.
It's very, oh my gosh, so different. And that's the thing. As payroll professionals, we always get the call. Oh, Jane said that she got more in her check and we make the same and file. And so they always want to compare each other's. And don't do that. Your situation is different. And call something out for us and really pulled, but he made me think that we need to up our customer service game, right? Because yes, we are not tax advisors. When you call your payroll person, they cannot tell you what to elect.
Yep.
They don't know your situation. That is something for you to sit down and get personal. There's so many millions of things. Again, the tax code is so long. There's so many things in there that could apply or not apply to you. So you really got to talk to someone that knows the code well enough to help you navigate through how you should elect.
Yes. So a lot of that, what you said, is why especially a lot of more affluent people have accountants and they have somebody that handles the books and stuff like that, because that person knows a little bit more of the ins and outs of the tax code. They know what to do and how to, the loopholes that are allowable right now currently in the tax code. Like, they know all those things, because average Joe, even me right now, like I don't understand everything about the tax code or anything like that. And the average person who doesn't pay attention to their taxes, imagine what little they would know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
it should. Yeah, it's also making me think, wait, what are the good resources for us to learn about income taxes? Because there's got to be something. There's got to be some software. There's got to be a team somewhere. If not, we need to do it. Like, we need to really try to make this stuff more accessible and break it into a more digestible type of thing. You know what I mean? Like, if it's that long, then that means somebody should be able to do a podcast on taxes for a very long time.
For real. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
Like there are some tools out there, some resources you can find there's a lot of good stuff on YouTube. Gerard M. Hall, he has a tool that he used, that he created, that payroll guide that you and I even touched on, right?
Oh, absolutely. No, it's a great tool, but that's just for your W-4. Great segue. If you're having trouble understanding and like how to elect what you should do, go to thatpayrollguy.com, check him out, go get his tool, use his tool. And also, the IRS does have a calculator on there to help guide. And the calculator is legit if you know how to use it.
Yep.
I validated it manually, meaning I put a number there, I checked it out, and then this is not an amazing feat but I can manually calculate what your taxes should be based on the IRS tax tables and the grids that they use. It's a pain, but it's doable, and it's necessary as a payroll professional to do. And I would even say, as anybody who's getting a paycheck, it's an exercise that we should go through so that we are more comfortable and we know, okay, this is what they're taxing me on. This is what it's based on.
Yeah, you may not understand everything. There are free guidelines, publications is what they call them. The IRS calls them, right?
Yes.
So Publication 15,
Circular
which is
E,
also called the Circular E. It's a free tool, freely accessible tool. You can download it. You can log into there, and Publication 15, Circular E. They usually update it every year. So there's a new one that comes out every year. So 2023 is going to be coming out pretty soon. You can go in there, download it, and read over it. You may not understand everything, but it'll kind of give you a breakdown of why you're paying taxes. And I think that goes in to our next section here. Why do we pay taxes, Brian?
Yep. I don't know. Give us a little why we pay.
So I found this definition or this breakdown online, right? So the money we pay in taxes goes to many places. In addition to paying the salaries of our government officials, our tax dollars also help with our local services like our police, our firemen, our firefighters. Our tax money helps ensure that our roads are taken care of and well maintained, like libraries and parks and stuff like that. That pays all those people's salaries. Those government workers, our taxes pay their salaries, basically.
Yeah. And again, I hope that this is where it's going. I don't know. Yes, those are the definitions. I get mad, right? Because I get mad. I'm like, why do we have issues in areas if there's so much taxes? For instance, some states are supposed to use lottery. I think all the states, I don't know, for education. But then why do we have problems in education? Why teachers don't make enough money, the money they should be making? You know what I mean? So that I digress. But these are the things I think that all of us as people who get paychecks, we get annoyed with this stuff. We got questions like, where my tax money? Dang, man, you're killing me in taxes. Where's this money going?
Think about it. So if we put it into a different breakdown or different term, say you have your streaming service that you're paying for, and you're supposed to have certain channels, certain things that you subscribe for, right? If you don't get those services, you're going to be like, hey, I'm paying for these things, but it's not working. You're gonna complain. You're gonna have a problem with that, right? You're not getting, and you're gonna want to, hey, either you fix it or I'm gonna go with somebody else. Unfortunately, we have the government, and I don't like again.
Yeah, no, but I think you really highlight something well. We don't get involved as much as we need to. We don't speak for the power of our tax dollars as much as we need to.
Yeah. I get what you're saying, man. We're supposed to try to implement change, right?
Yeah.
Or try to be the change. And it's just
we pay taxes, tough, right? We pay taxes. We're gonna sit down and let the government take the money from us. Then go out there and say something. To your point exactly, you wouldn't let that happen if your car, you just pay for your car, then the problem is still there. You going back and hey, you didn't fix anything.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Your cables, heaven forbid, Netflix shut you down and
See,
you can't get Netflix, right?
Yeah, and I exactly. So, Americans who pay their taxes are paying for those services, and so I can see the frustration. Sees today's political to get down that rabbit hole or anything like that. But again, you need to educate yourself as a consumer or a person who receives a paycheck. You need to educate yourself on these taxes. And you need to, no matter which way you lean or indifferent, apolitical, whatever you're into, you need to be able to educate yourself on how your local taxes impact you and your community. Okay, educate yourself. So, what kinds of taxes should I expect to pay as a consumer, Brian?
So, like we've covered, you're gonna pay federal, you're gonna pay Social Security, Medicare, and then, if applicable, state and local. If you're in a state that collects, and if your state has locals that collect. For instance, New York City, not only do they have a state, they have a 5-borough. So if you live in the 5 boroughs, they tax you more. There's an additional tax. So and there's other states like that as well. So you'll see at the very minimum those 3 categories or 4 categories, depending on how you want to look at it.
Now, one thing I want the listeners to understand is that we're just doing these brief episodes to try to just give the consumer a little helping hand, a little more education about what taxes are. We could really talk on these subjects a lot longer than we are. Like, for instance, there's situations where if you're a foreign exchange student and you meet certain criteria, you may not have to pay, or you're not allowed to pay certain tax, but you're exempt.
That's a great,
Once upon a mundane morning, Barb's day got busy without warning. A realtor in need of an open house sign. No, 50 of them, and designed before 9.
My head hurts.
Any mighty tools to help with this plight?
Aha!
Barb made her move. She opened Canva and got in the groove.
Bulk creating Canva sheets. Create 50 signs fit for suburban streets.
Done in a click, all complete.
Sweet!
Now, imagine what your dreams can become when you put imagination to work at canva.com.
We could go on longer, but we should include at least the very minimum this.
Well,
it's talking about, right, if you're a foreign exchange student or if you're here on a visa, meaning that you
that's
are.
What I meant.
No, both, right? It's either foreign exchange, because foreign exchange, and that's the visa thing, right? Your visa dictates how much you can work and not work, and what you can do and not do. So if you have a student visa, you're limited to how much money you make. Okay, because the whole thing is for you to come and go to school, not be working. And then also, if you on a visa for work, it dictates the taxes you pay. You have to file a certain way and maintain residency in your home country to not pay taxes, and let's quote, not pay Social Security and Medicare. You're only exempt from FICA. Okay, because the assumption is that you're not going to retire in this country. You're going to go back to your country when you retire. So you should be settling up that's your business, right? That's what the exemption allows for. It says, hey, if you're not going to retire here, then we will give you an exclusion of Social Security and Medicare. But that's it. And you still got to pay federal. And it's okay to pay it. So you can pay Social Security and Medicare if you plan on retiring here, then you can pay it while you're in your visa status.
That's the reason I brought that up. Is because when I asked the question, what kind of taxes should I pay as a consumer? It depends. It depends on your situation, because everyone's situation is different.
Very true. Very true.
It all depends. It depends. It can be down. It can even be down to the address that you live, the block that you live. If you have locals, right?
So that's Ohio and Pennsylvania. I know of. They're literally down to your street address.
They're the most common.
They do this whole big thing. So it's very complicated. But anywho, that's that. What's the other one I was going to talk about is the student exemptions, which we talked about before. But this is very applicable. What you're saying. What should I pay if you're a full-time student in college? There's an exemption because you're a full-time student. So the government says, hey, we'll give you a break there. And I believe there's a dollar amount involved, and there may be age limit. There may be limitations. But if you have a child, normal college age, going to college, and they're working as well, they probably have a tax exemption. So parents, or if you're the parent or the student actually working, keep that in mind. You probably have a tax exemption for your federal, not so much for your Social Security and Medicare, because again, if you're an American citizen, you want to start building toward that as early as you can.
Yeah, so I think you're talking about the American Opportunity Tax Credit.
Maybe.
It says it's a credit qualified for education expenses paid for eligible students for the first 4 years of higher education.
Okay, it might be.
It's a maximum annual credit of $2,500.
That might be something different, though. See, that's the thing. That's something different. But look into see that, again, to our point, there are many benefits and privileges and exceptions and all these things that we don't take advantage of. You know what I mean? I think the classic one is like when kids are graduating high school, like that book of scholarship money.
Yeah.
Oh, get the book, get the scholarship money book, get the scholarship money book. So, and that dude still exists. Like I saw him on TikTok, I believe, the other day. And so that stuff is out there. There's so many tax benefits and privileges that we have. We don't even look into it.
Yeah.
So they're just getting our money. You know what I mean? So
Go ahead. Finish your thought.
That's what I'm saying. It's so annoying. So and that's part of what this series is. I hope we say enough that you go out there and research yourself. We're not going to tee all this stuff up for you because to Walt's point, we'll be here for hours. There'll be weeks and tons of content to freaking cover this. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of stuff out there. Just do the research. Like, we hope to rile you up enough to go freaking do the research.
One comment I want to make before we segue to this next section about 1099s and W-2s is, like, I heard from a supervisor is that what they said is that they suggested that I find someone who is a CPA or an accountant to do my taxes because they're liable to work the system a little bit better for me, and more so like one of these online services where I do it myself.
Absolutely.
Because I mean, even though they break it down for you online, you may not really understand what a lot of that.
No, you definitely don't. And it's an algorithm built to be compliant.
Yeah.
All those systems and stuff. If you don't know what to say to it, like you're gonna mess yourself up. You know what I mean? And I used to have this great accountant, rest in peace, and in his office that said, to avoid is legal, to evade is illegal.
Yep.
If you don't pay your taxes, they're gonna catch up with you at some point. Look at Wesley Snipes. Look, Steve Harvey even got caught out there on that way or whatever. All these actors, usually big time celebrity people making tons of money, they're trying to evade taxes. They're gonna get you. Right? You just need to go ahead and invest in the smart accountant, keep them honest. The more money you got, the more checks and balances you need to have.
Yep.
But yeah, just to take advantage of those of whatever you can take advantage of.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And that's why it comes down to your personal situation.
Those are all great nuggets. Thank you for sharing that stuff. I did have one question as we get ready to end it here. What should a 1099, a contract person, know about their taxes? So if I was a contract person, I know the answer to this, but I just want
we got to talk about it. Yeah, sure.
So as a 1099 person, do I have to pay taxes or am I good?
Yeah, no, you have to pay. The only thing, 1099 is not excluding of tax. It's, what is it? Gosh, I just had the word. You're deferring your tax liability until the end of the year. But most folks will want you to make estimated payments. The government still wants you to make payments.
Yes.
And most CPAs will urge you to make estimated payments, taxes for 1099. Now, it's not required, so it's fine. You can wait until the end of the year. But even if you're not paying the government, you should, as a 1099, you should be putting that money away. Your CPA should be telling you what to expect. Let's say it's $500 a month, right?
Yep.
You should take that $500 a month, put it in an account, and make some money on it. Do something with it. With it. Invest it. Make some money. Don't lose it because you got to pay it at the end of the year. So be conservative with your investments. But go ahead. You need to make money on that money. And 1099 is a great example because 1099 is you're self-employed, right?
Yeah.
So you're issuing yourself your pay stub. You're impacting your money directly in a more direct manner. You have more power over your income than a W-2 employee. So some savvy folks, they prefer to be 1099 because of that, have more power on the money that they get. But it's a dangerous loophole because if you're not paying your taxes, guess what? the people who pay you 1099, if you have a one source for that income, they'll get dinged. They'll get a letter and say, hey, you need to make sure your people are paying taxes. You got 1099s that are not paying taxes. Yeah. And then you got to be careful. This is more for the employers. If your 1099 folk aren't doing the right thing, the IRS will come in and evaluate if they really should be 1099 or not. So you get that again. So be careful with that. But at the end of the day, no, 1099 is you're deferring the payment until when you go file at the end of the year. So keep this in mind as a consumer. If you're a 1099 employee at any or vendor or self-employed situation, the companies that issue you your 1099s, because if you're really good, you're getting multiple per year. You're getting 1099 state payments from a lot of vendors, different clients. Yep. The clients that pay you 1099 are also filing with the government the payments that they made to you. So don't think that you're avoiding anything by, oh, I'm not paying taxes, I'm a 1099, I'm good. Guess what? If you made $100,000 from however many vendors that year, all of that $100,000 is being reported to the government that you made it, that your company or whatever that 1099 is being paid to, it's being reported to the government. They know. So if you're right, 1099 is an IRS document to file. So the people who are paying you are obligated to report their payments to you to the government. So again, I know we're in a craze right now where everybody's getting LLCs and everybody's becoming 1099, and you got to be careful with all that because you got to understand what you're doing.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the thing with social media, right?
Yes.
You have these people with platforms now, and they give you certain little nuggets in part, and they don't tell you the whole situation. So you go out here believing one thing,
yes,
and you may not be all the way informed about something. Do your research,
yes,
for whatever situation you're trying to build, however dynamic you're trying to build your life in regards to your taxes.
Yep.
Do your research, educate yourself.
Yes, educate yourself around these things. It's great. I think the information age is wonderful, and I learn a ton of things from TikTok. But just like we always say on this show, trust but validate.
Trust but verify.
Trust but verify, exactly. Yep. Trust but verify. That's all I'm saying. They all have good things to share, and it's really good nuggets. Again, I take it, we take it, but we go and verify, and we continue our research, and we continue to that help us, the professionals in this, right? Because we're building a business here too. But we're gonna talk to our lawyers. We're talking to our CPAs. We're talking to our branding managers. You know what I mean? We're talking to our developers. Use your subject matter experts.
Yes.
Very well. And the same goes with if you're a W-2 employee, you need to also consult your subject matter experts. You are not the smartest person out there. If you're the smartest person in the room, you need to be in a new room. You understand what I'm saying? You need to always challenge yourself building whatever it is.
As they say, there's levels to it, right?
So
everybody has their part to play. Payroll processor or a payroll professional, when you approach them with questions about your taxes and your income, they can answer certain things about your pay, your taxes and stuff like that, but they can't go beyond the point to where they're actually giving you on what to do.
No.
If you just add an additional amount of $50, then you'll be okay.
Nope.
Like I've seen litigation be threatened because a payroll professional gave some advice and they thought they were doing the right thing for this person. And this person took what that person said, and at the end of the year, they owed a bunch of taxes. And now they're calling back saying, oh, it's your fault. It's your fault because I listened to you.
Facts. Yep. That's very true. And that's why as payroll professionals, we have to be careful. As a consumer, you need to know that your payroll person is not going to be able to tell you what to do in your pay. A good payroll person is going to be able to factually tell you what happened in that particular paycheck. But they're not going to, for the most part, they can't. Not that they not knowledgeable enough, but they can't tell you what to do.
They should not.
They should not. That's a better way to say it. They should not. And I think new professionals get caught up in helping, and they want to help people. So you got to find that balance. Like Gerard says, is a balance, right? We're seeing consumers really hurt because of the change in the W-4 in the last few years, and they made it very different. So it's not complicated. If you take the time to understand it, and Gerard's tool will help you understand it, and that tool, and read the corresponding circular to go with that, whatever that one is, and just educate yourself. It's not that hard. It's just very different from what it used to be. So, of course, I read something years ago that humans reject change, whether it's good or bad. We reject it out the gate. And we have to push through that to actually. So that's the thing. A lot of people don't like change. And that's very right. It's a very commonly known thing. And that's why we, as humans, we reject it. And our initial reaction is rejection. You have to pour through and understand it. I even got hurt with it. Like, me and my wife didn't understand it at first. And mind you, I'm a payroll professional. So I'm like, what? And it wasn't until me and Walter sat down with Gerard's tool, worked our way. It took us like an hour to work through this document so that we would understand it enough to be able to at least just help folks, to give helpful hints and helpful guidance when they're doing the W-4. You know what I mean? For instance, it's no longer single one married. You got to do the 1 and the 2 and the dependents come in dollar amounts. So if you claim 1 kid, it's $2,000 exemption. If it's 2, it's a $4,000 exemption. So people are like getting confused with that. They're like, 2,000, what's this 2,000, 4,000 bit? And they're not picking the right things, and they're not doing it right. And then boom, they're getting hit on their taxes on their checks. So at the very minimum, we can give that advice, helpful guidance. Say, hey, look out for this. I'm not telling you what to do, but be careful with this when you're doing the W-4. Understand this when you're doing, there's another little box that you have to check if you have 2 jobs.
Hi, I'm George LaRocque, and I'm looking forward to exploring the critical trends shaping the future of work and technology with you over on the Work Tech podcast. Now, this podcast is a little different. I bring together industry leaders, innovators, and investors, and we go deep into market intelligence that matters to HR pros and tech providers alike. So give the Work Tech podcast a listen here on the Work Defined Podcast Network, and please subscribe if you like it. See you there.
And that is impactful on the amount that you're being taxed. So that's the call out. This is what I'm saying. One day we'll do maybe during tax time, we'll have Gerard come on. Yeah. And we'll do like a whole episode on what you need to know, what we can share. But yeah, man. Sorry to go off on these things.
No, it was good, man. You dropped a lot of nuggets, a lot of helpful information. Like, again, because we're trying to help you as consumers understand that there's complexity to these taxes.
Yep.
And we could go on for hours, as we said earlier on. We could go on and on about these taxes. But so I get it. Any last nugget that you want to share with them?
No, I think we covered it all, man. Just to recap, this episode is about taxes. Your taxes that you see on your pay stub, they will most commonly be federal, FICA, states, locals if applicable. A few states have some weird ones. Workers' comp is one that some states force you to do. Unemployment taxes, some states force the employee to contribute to the unemployment system. So I'm just thinking about it now. Sorry, guys. But that's another call out. And at the end of the day, what we need to leave you with this whole pay stub series is, if you don't understand something on your check, start with the payroll department. Ask them, what is this? And then if it's legal and if it's correct, then go research that and understand what it is. You know what I mean?
Good call out. And a good, helpful payroll professional would point you in the right direction too.
Yeah.
They will point you to irs.gov.
Absolutely.
They will point you to the Circular E. They will point you to
the state
certain
website
things,
or the
state
whatever.
website.
Yep.
Yeah. Like, you want to be careful what's on the internet and what's on social media. You know what I'm saying? So
especially especially when it comes from your paychecks, don't listen to I'm not trying to discredit any other provider of information when it comes to your paycheck, but you don't have to. Can go right to the source. It's not a secret. Go to the federal government, IRS, Social Security, the state unemployment or state workers department, whatever your state worker they call it employee development, employment, whatever it's called, the unemployment department, and go and look there on those sites. And that is where it's defined what they're doing, why they're taking these taxes, and maybe if you can be exempt from it.
Yep.
Okay. So think about that as well. Another little nugget, and I thought about it earlier. Sorry, I didn't bring it up. Exemption period. When we were talking about the visas and we're talking about the students, sometimes as consumers, we think we can be exempt from paying federal taxes. That is, it's possible, but you need to go and understand what your exemption is. And most documents in the system, most payroll professionals won't easily let you go exempt unless you are proving it and what legal backup you have. Okay.
Good ones. Yeah, good ones should not let you do that.
Yeah, good. So it is possible, again, but like the last time I was looking at that sort of stuff, the IRS document, I believe it was the W-4, where you checked exemption, it told you right there, you can only check it, you can only be exempt if you've already been exempt the year before, or if you've received a full refund on your federal the year before. Okay, so be very careful when you think, I'm exempt. No, you're not. Go prove. Believe me, if you're trying to get over on your payroll, they're gonna check it again. They're gonna recertify that. As a payroll professional, recertification of your W-4 is necessary. As a consumer, we should be updating our W-4 annually after we file our taxes.
Yep.
Okay, so keep that in mind. These things go on. So if you think you have an exemption, you have to make sure that you are legally within bounds, because the payroll department could get an IRS lock-in letter for you. That means if you go too many years with not paying the right amount of taxes, withholding the right amount of taxes from your W-2 paycheck, they will force your company to withhold at a certain rate for you. Okay, it's called the IRS lock-in letter, and you don't get it. Maybe you do get it, but your payroll as a payroll professional, I always saw them come to the payroll department, and it would say, "Hey, Jane Smith, you must lock her in at this rate because she has been underpaying for the past X amount of years, and they're tired of it, so they lock you in." So be careful. Be careful, right? You can't just do whatever you want willy-nilly with the IRS. They will catch up to you. And just because you got away for 5 years doesn't mean you're going to get away for the next 5. And you want to address it sooner than later, because guess what? You don't want to be in a good situation 10 years down the road, and now the IRS caught up and you owe $100,000 in taxes.
Oof.
Come on, man. You want to do that? So you want to get ahead of these things to successfully avoid the taxes that you don't have to pay, benefits and exclusions that you can.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Know your taxes. Know the power you have. And I guess that's why like old school folks are always like, I pay my taxes. I can think of the old men that I look up to, and they're like always, I pay my taxes. I'm a taxpayer. You know what I mean? It's such a badge of honor, and it should be, because your paycheck has power. Like, money you making, you're putting into the system, it should be powerful.
The taxes that you pay impacts so many other people.
It impacts other things. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. We went a lot longer than I thought, but this is good stuff. We'll chop it down accordingly. But yeah, thanks, folks. And any last words there, Walt?
No, I think we're good, boss.
Oh man, awesome, bro. So thanks again, folks. Love having you. Keep coming back.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of our podcast. We appreciate you. We're grateful for you. And we hope that the information that was shared with you will impact you as a payroll professional. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep going.